breath, she tried to think how she would explain this to her parents. On the opposite wall stood her dresser with the attached mirror. When she looked at it, a plan emerged. A little furniture rearranging, and the whole would be hidden. She glanced back at the pillow, and when she moved her head, a sharp pain pinched in the very top of her neck, right where that damn monster had gotten her in her dream. She reached up to rub the pain away and felt the cool stickiness. Pulling her hand around, she stared at the blood. What the heck? Reaching back again, she felt a large pimple at the very base of her skull. Perhaps the pimple had simply been hurting and brought on the crazy dream. The smell of her own blood reminded her that she hadn't fed in 2 days, but bringing a bag of blood home with her was too risky. The last time she'd come here, she'd caught her mom rummaging through her things. Her mom had looked up guiltily and said, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any. I have to worry about your sister." "You don't worry about me anymore?" Della had asked. It hadn't mattered that her mom thought she was doing drugs. It was that she didn't worry about her anymore that hurt the most. Then Della had left the room before she had to listen to her mom's heart beat to the lie she was about to tell. Pushing the past back, Della grabbed a tissue from her bedside table to stop the bleeding. In a few minutes, she tossed the tissue in the garbage, pulled the pillow out of the wall, and picked up the dresser and hauled it across the room to hide her dream-induced oops. Standing back, eyeing the newly placed piece of furniture, she sighed in relief. They would never know. Or wouldn't know now. Someday her dad would find it, and he'd probably call her and tell her again how disappointed he was in her. But hell and pain later was better than hell and pain now. Glancing up, she saw herself in the mirror and had an epiphany. She might face monsters, in her dreams and even in her real life, but the thought of facing her parents, of seeing the sheer disappointment in their eyes again, turned her into a spineless little girl. Every change that had happened to her since she'd been turned into a vampire had been seen by her parents as a form of rebellion. They believed her to be an unappreciative, uncaring teen, probably on drugs, possibly pregnant, and out to make their lives miserable. But better to let them believe that than to believe her a monster. Sometimes she wondered if it wouldn't have been better to take the easy way out and just fake her death like most teens in her situation did. Losing her family would hurt like hell, but wasn't she still losing them? Day by day, bit by bit, she felt them distancing themselves from her. They barely talked to her anymore. Hadn't hugged her in so long, Della couldn't remember what it felt like. And there was a part of her that missed them so badly she wanted to scream that it wasn't her fault. She hadn't asked to be turned. "What are you doing?" The voice shattered the somber silence. Della swung around. With her super-sensitive hearing, she could normally hear her younger sister turning over in her bed. How had she not heard her slip into the room? Nothing," Della answered. "What are you doing up?" "I heard you..." Marla's eyes widened. "You moved your dresser." Della glanced back at the piece of furniture. "Yeah, I couldn't sleep and I just thought I'd freshen things up in here." "That thing's heavy." "Yeah, well, I've been eating all my veggies." Marla frowned. "You barely ate anything at supper. Mom's worried about you." No, she isn't, Della thought. Marla looked around again. "Did you ask Mom if you could rearrange your room?" "Why would she care?" Della asked. Marla shrugged. "I don't know, but you probably should have asked." Della bit the edge of her lip, realizing that before she'd been turned, she probably would have asked for permission for even something that mundane. Chalk up one positive thing for living at Shadow Falls. Holiday and Burnett, the camp leaders, ran a tight ship, but they gave the students enough rope to either swing on or hang themselves. So far, Della hadn't gotten hung. Well, not hung too bad. And in the past 6 months, she'd grown to like her independence. Marla walked closer. Her pink nightshirt only came down to mid-thigh. Della realized